Hey, hey, ho. And a rum pum pum, it's off to work we go, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, applause. Clap, clap. Yes. Hello, it's me again.
Hello.
Happy second week of the new year. Or a brave new year, as I've been saying to people mostly. Yes, I am Mal Burns, and this is Metaworld News. As Mal Burns, I have a feed on Twitter, which you'll find at twitter.com/malburns. Malburns, all one word, despite the fact that in life, of course, I'm a Mal and then a Burns. I've got a space. Yeah, I'm a name with a space until I get on the interwebs when I'm a name that is squashed. We also have twitter.com/metaworld news coming after the title of this very show.
Yeah.
And I'll be mentioning a couple of things at the beginning which are in that feed, but most of the stuff I'll be talking about. If you get lost and want to know the links or get directly to pages I mentioned stuff, you can find the links in that Twitter feed for Mal Burns as a rule. Right, okay, so I am Mal Burns, but also, not only, but also, as the old show used to say, there's somebody else here too. Sitting right next to me, and it's none other than James Atlloud. Hello, James.
Oh, hello, Mal. I am doing very well today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I've been looking at the t-shirts. Sweet something or other I can't read, but
Yeah, yeah.
the long-haired cartoon sort of character looks a bit like me in my hair when I was about 17.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's
But
great.
yeah, but I'm like, but where did the antlers come from? He asks.
Well, this was a program on Netflix, I believe, called Sweet Tooth, and it was just a
Oh
fairy
God!
tale. If you do you remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
based
yeah.
on a DC, it's not based on a DC comic actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or maybe the comic's also based on a fairy tale, but they made it. Yeah, I watched it all a few months ago now. Yeah, it was great. I
Yeah, it
like
was
that one.
great. We enjoyed it. My
Yeah,
parents enjoyed it, so it was good family
yeah,
fare, I think.
yeah,
Oh, and this shirt
yeah.
was let's see, who made this? Let me get our credit in for our designer. Oh, this is your favorite, Loki Elliott. Loki Elliott
Oh,
made
of
us
course.
a sweet tooth shirt. How about that?
Hello, Loki. Well,
Yep.
thank you for that, Jess. I shall come and get one myself. I
And
think.
it's for free, so no cost
Yeah,
involved.
actually, Loki. Not lots of Loki's stuff often is free. Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
great community
Yep, very often.
contributions from Loki there.
Yep.
I even think he does builds for free, that you can get off his,
I wonder. I wonder. Yeah.
builds that are on his store, as it were. I'm
Yep.
not sure. I should get in and have another look, actually.
Yep. So being January,
Yeah,
designs in Sansar have slowed down a bit, but I imagine they'll
yeah.
pick up again. So.
Yeah, yeah, it's sort of yeah. I mean, it's been quite. I know from my news set, it's been quite all over. There's sort of there's endless blogs and Second Life fashionistas, of course. They never seem to slow down. Well, there's so many of them, you wouldn't notice whether they slow down or not. But it's in a lot of other spheres, as it were. Some of the marketplaces and things have slowed down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you say, it's sort of the post holiday blues and something, and But most of us are sleeping all the while and things, so trying to figure out whether it's diabetes or whether it's COVID or whether it's what's the one that called seasonal disorder.
Oh yeah,
I think I
yeah.
think I think it's seasonal disorder
SAD,
because it's
seasonal affective
yeah because
disorder, right?
yeah. Well, it's been grey ever since the holiday. Now
Ah,
we've had extreme heat, which broke all records at the beginning of January, the hottest New Year's Day ever. And the last week or so it's been cold, but one thing that has been consistent is the grey. Well, actually, there was a hint of blue sky and sun earlier today and another day. But generally speaking, that pokes you up, but then it gets all grey again. And I
oh,
think it's
yep,
something to do with the neutrality of grey. If it's black or dark like night, you've
yeah,
got artificial lights on, and it feels right. It's night time.
yeah,
And if it's nice and sunny or at least bright, whitish sort of blue sky, then that feels right for daytime.
yeah.
But this kind of mid grey, 50% black, in other words, endlessly with no textural variation like thick
Yeah.
clouds and thin clouds. It's just a sheet of grey over the top of you, and you think that, somebody's put you in a coffin and covered you in a grey sheet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's lifeless.
Right. Right.
It's not the colour, and it's not black or white either. It's just ugh, down. Seasonal affective disorder is what it is. So
All
there
right.
we go.
There we
Right.
are.
Okay.
Very good.
So have I done that? Yeah, I've introduced you. Oh yes, folks. James is also doing two other things. He's fiddling with knobs. Basically, so he's controlling the audio, mixing the audio with the video, and controlling the video by mixing my desktop with their various different positions of ourselves in the studio and stuff. All designed to tart things up for viewers at home. And yes, so congratulations. Thank you, James, for doing that.
Sure. Sure.
Um, According to, well, I'll come to his other talents in a few short minutes, I
Oh.
think.
All right.
Right. Yeah, now he's confused.
I am. I am.
Right. Okay. So, just a few pictures to get us started off today. No external videos are worthy of showing, so I'll just look through these pictures and then get into our news links. I found it somewhere. It's coming on screen now, I hope. A metaverse expert, which is pronounced Metaverse expert. And it's a noun. It's a noun, it is. It's a vanity term generally used by the less qualified people in XR, AR, or blockchain to enhance the perception of their knowledge about gaming, NFTs, and VR.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you just want to know that? But actually, in the last year or two, I think that is very much true. Very much like metaverse influencers. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Thought of a tagline for that, yeah. This lady's in trouble. Not very much to do with us in the UK, but she's been convicted of fraud. But I've seen her in the news, and quite a bit up to there. And her face reminds me of this woman's face. It's all in the eyes. Now, these aren't the best two photographs, actually, but there are a couple where you put them side by side, and you swear they were twins. And only one has so far been convicted, of course, but we live in hope as far as the other's concerned. Right.
Metaworld News, delivering you the best in metaverse humor.
James feels the urge to get that bit in, doesn't he?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. YouTube's a bit behind there. Anyway, right. Well, talking of humour or whatever, this is an avatar. Now, this is Bixel Shufton. He helped us with broadcasts and stuff like that. He runs a website called SL Newser, and he's been in Second Life for ages. And I just don't know, this avatar and the hat and the press hat and everything else and the cigarette is just so. It reminds me of characters in like a European comic strip or something.
Yeah.
And that's a great portrait, in fact. But
Wonderful.
it's there because if you were to follow my Twitter feed as Mal Burns Writer, he was another one as well.
All right.
He's had there's a long interview somewhere with Linden Labs have interviewed him, and I don't know. I think it's his 15th. It couldn't be his 20th anniversary, but it's, cause celebre at an appropriate date. But I thought I have to shoot that picture because it's as a portrait of an avatar. It's great, it really is.
Yep.
It's
Agreed.
got that. Even the eyes have got that sort of almost human look to them, but he's a fox or some similar thing. So it's lovely. He's lovely. He is. Okay. So what else do we have here? Okay, most of this is just pretty pictures. Oh, here was one. I think it was Dr. Fran or something who posted this earlier. This guy said, I'm human. I'm home to 37.2 trillion cells. I'm part of living nature, part of the history of the universe. I'm creator of my own life. Wow. Yeah. He hasn't even got himself dressed properly, has he? Right, okay, moving on up. Also relevant to Meta, the organisation formerly known as something unspeakable. Um, the UK watchdog here is about to give them another grilling. This time it's going to be about child safety, in particular in VR. The British government, the Information Commissioner's Office, particularly, they they're politely saying that they're planning further discussions with the God Emperor on this one. But apparently his Quest 2 VR headset doesn't really comply with the recently established children's code that prioritize the best interests of young users. And the watchdog needs to determine whether Meta's headset and VR services do enough to protect the privacy and data of our kids. So, Zuki, you're going to have to come back over here and have a grilling in Parliament like you did the other day. He'll have to take up residence here soon, though. He's going to be called to. He's, going to have a lot of interrogations in the works there. I think he's got some in America too, and certainly in France. Everybody wants to interrogate the guy, but nobody's prepared to split him up yet. I don't know. What the circular saws that you can just put him on and slice him down the middle. That was good to go. That'd be a good start, and then you could split up all the two halves into all the component bits and tell them to work on their own. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to put the pictures away and move into our links. Okay. These first two links do actually come from twitter.com/MetaWorldNews. Well, from me, of course, but that's where I filed them, so to speak. There's a lot of... I'm posting a few odd things from VR Chat and some of the other platforms into Metaworld News these days. It's normally just been OpenSim, Sciencebase, and some sort of kind of thing, but I'm adding a few others as they go. Basically, VR Chat has announced it's growing and it's doing things with its music community, and it's about to explode. Well, we'll believe that when it sees it. Premonitions indeed. But anyway, they're talking about this quite nice phrase. At the era of musical decentralization. I actually thought we'd already had that at the beginning of COVID, but if not even earlier, go back to the days of punk. But never mind, that's coming. So this is VR Chat, and you can relax on the couch and blah blah blah, and in a nightclub and enjoy the music. Nothing's particularly exciting here, but a reasonable roundup article there, concentrating on VR Chat. And why not? I think it is a bona fide virtual world, as they say. And I gather it's got quite a lot of open source community involved there, if nothing else. Right, so putting that one away, and the next one is basically oh Lord. Thank God I haven't put it away yet. Right. This link is at the Metaculture Co, which is TheMetaculture.co, just CO, not com. Right. Moving on. So this is HG Safari blogspot.com. Basically, this coming Wednesday at noon Pacific time. Will be the first of a new season of I think it's about 10 or a dozen safaris taking place in Open Simulator, and meeting up at HG Safari's address in OS Grid. Okay, I think that there's a bit of a typo at the beginning there. They say OG Grid. I think they mean OS Grid.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so this is but she's this is Thursday's blog, of course, and she's writing about their pre-safari they had last Wednesday, which was like just a get together to celebrate it happening. And I said we had another talent for James to announce, because Thursday tells me that the highlight of this event was James dancing.
Oh no, I don't know about that.
Yes, she did. I wasn't there myself, I'm afraid, because it wasn't the proper safari, and I think I got tied up with the OMI thing, which also happens actually a couple of hours earlier on Wednesdays. But yeah, I was back channeling to Thursday, and she said, I think it was there. She said her highlight was seeing James dancing.
Wow, well that's
So there you go. She
exciting, isn't
name
it?
checked. No, she name checked a few people here. Actually, she doesn't name check you in this particular article, but yeah, I think it was in Discord. She was talking about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so this
That's
post,
fun.
if you want to check it, it's at hgsafari.blogspot.com, and the link to this and the other posts from the safari are actually in the Metaworld news feed at Twitter. But from there, we can actually move on to links of the week. Now, I'm going to start by saying we don't have the link to the week. I thought it was an old link, and I went and deleted it on the 2nd of January. But then when I think about it, that was only a week ago.
Oh, okay.
But obviously, the scarredghost.com or SKARREDGHOST.com. And let's have a sound effect in his absence.
That was a funny sound of your desktop made a sound
Yeah,
effect too.
yeah, you got a sound effect from me, which was I forgot to turn my notifications off, so I was getting the ding dongs.
Ding dong. Yep.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Go, there we are. Turn them off. Turn them off. There we are. Hopefully, no more ding dongs while we're working. Okay. So yeah, if you're around on Wednesday, you basically need to go to the OS grid. Grid in OpenSim. And she did make a point of something here. So on the OS grid, and the region you want is HG Safari. And let me get this right. Yeah, it's HG in capitals, then a space, and then Safari starting with a capital S. That's to avoid confusion with it. Is another one of those which actually doesn't have a space. It's just HG Safari. But I think that's the Franco group. Well, I'm really not sure. But basically, if you are hypergridding in from somewhere, you go to you look up OS grid, and then the region you want to check there is HG space Safari, and it's at 12 noon Pacific time. Just like Second Life, she says. Yep, and yeah, so head there on Wednesday. The preview party, you know, them getting together on Wednesday, actually had about 25 people. So I expect for the real thing, that number might actually well go up. So we'll see about that. I will definitely make it to that one. And I'm actually going to maybe suggest to Thursday that in parallel with the Safari, we have a channel in Discord. So if people wander off out of voice range from people and stuff, then they can stay connected.
Yeah, she has a whole server. She has a HG Safari Discord.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, but we've never actually used it on Safari.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my sense is that she does plan to use it, so we'd be using it for that purpose, which would be great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Right. Okay, so that's on Wednesday. So put it in your diary, folks, and turn up. Right, so now we are into twitter.com/Mal Burns for all the following links that we're doing now. Not that many of them, and actually just an odd selection of vaguely interesting ones, really. Nothing sort of to stop the planet turning, really. This is opposed to xrtoday.com. It's xrtoday.com. And it's a summary. Read the latest on emerging healthcare technologies, and it's got 6 insightful VR case studies to read for, guess what, 2022. Is it 2022 already? Oh, I forgot to tell you, folks. Today we're doing the headlines for the week ending. whatever it is. 9th of January 2022. I forgot to announce that at the beginning, which
I'm more
also very
impressed
much,
that you forgot to remember. That's so funny. You
yeah, I
remembered
forgot.
that you forgot to remember.
Yeah, but I was just prompted by Sunday Scene
Yeah.
2022.
Yep.
So, yes, it is news headlines for the week ending January the 9th, 2022, not 2021. That's where I normally go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Or 1921, but I've forgotten that. It really, that one I really have forgotten. I think it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, long time. Long time.
Of course it was. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, and of course, today is the 9th when we're actually recording this, whether you're watching now or whether you watch it later. Who knows? Okay, so this post was in January the 4th, and as it says, it's just got, a roundup of various things related to healthcare and VR, hardware platforms, etc., etc. Not a huge roundup, but nevertheless an interesting roundup. Healthcare is quite big in VR, one way or another. So that's at xrtoday.com. I shall remove that one. And next we have arpost.co, arpost.co. And this is entitled How Artificial Intelligence Can Reshape AR, VR, and MR Technologies. Yes, indeed. Profound, profound. People have mixed feelings about artificial intelligence, and indeed, it's almost as bad as the word metaverse. I'm never quite sure what a artificial intelligence is. Um, uh, AR is easy, that's augmented, but it, I mean, in principle, if you've got complex enough code that can make autonomous decisions that make sense, at least to the machine, then you have an artificial intelligence. That's the way I see it. But never forget, code is written by humans. And although computers themselves can write their own code to a certain extent now, which I suppose is getting towards artificial intelligence, um, it's more procedural at the moment, which is probably the way it should be, to be honest. I don't think that some artificial machine thinks it's more intelligent than anybody else and decides to prove the point by writing something even more intelligent. So human beings are running around like ants saying, where's everything gone? That bloody machine up there. But anyway, this is actually discussing how artificial intelligence, such as it is, could help reshape augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality technologies. So quite an important sort of issue, and hopefully it'll be a year or two before we have to really start worrying. But I think it's something we need to keep an eye on already, as it were. Especially when you realise there's so many, evil empires, be they corporations or geographic blocks, really, are to a certain extent, they're relying on algorithms to spy on us, manipulators, and do all sorts of stuff. And those are just the algorithms, without any technical intelligence behind them. So you can sort of see where it might go if we don't be careful. Of course, it could be argued that some creatures in Silicon Valley are themselves artificial intelligences masquerading as human beings. That's another matter entirely. Anyway, before I go too far, look up this at arpost.co, arpost.co, and we'll remove the artificial bit for now and move on to organics.org. We haven't had a post from them for a while, at least not on this show, we haven't. This is about a company called Third Eye. They've announced a new Razer MR glasses, which is a consumer mixed reality device. Now, one thing, although I said there was nothing sort of a world churning happened this week, actually, it was quite a major event this week, was the CES. I don't know what they call it, exhibition, I suppose, really. The Consumer Electronics Show, I suppose, which the American one that is, and there's various stuff being on show there, though nothing really to write home about, from what I gather. And of course, there are a lot of people who backed out of exhibiting at the last minute because of COVID, and which of course meant that the ones left exhibiting were maybe not the widest range of people. But also there wasn't really much online. Reports from the show and things people were seeing, but no kind of video feed, walkabout, or talks or anything that I could really find online. I may have missed something, but that would be unusual. But anyway, it was there, and some news did sleep out, including this Razer MR glasses. Razer, I'm not sure whether this is the third eye as Razer here is the same as the company Razer that does keyboards and all sorts of add-ons for I've got a Razer mouse, for example, and a lit up keyboard thing, and I've even got a mouse mat. But I think that's a different Razer. But anyway, this company Razer has come up with a fairly compact, bearing in mind the X5 MR mixed reality glasses, and given their consumer intended, they somewhat look a bit more stylish than the snap lenses or whatever Zuckerberg came out with. And cutaway showing you what's in there. A diopter adjusting knob, whatever that might be. Cover glass, I think I understand what that is. Bird bath optical modulator, adjustable nose support, directional sound, and soft rubber pad. Oh, that's nice. They always have these soft rubber pads at the back of the ear, but none of them seem to put them on the nose, which is it's another thing that stops me wearing these things. I actually put a headset on the other day. Shock horror. Yeah.
I need a shock horror sound. Sorry.
It was rubbing on my nose. As well as the weight of it pissing me off. I mean, I really felt, I thought it was biting into my nose because it wasn't rubberized. It was sharp, The only way I could actually do it was to get a bit of sticky back Velcro, the soft side, the Velcro that's the smoother two sides, and put that there so that it was like having a sort of soft cloth. But even there, the contours were just made it so uncomfortable. Anyway, these glasses run on Android's operating system, 43 view, and come with sound effects, I think. And they have an 8-hour battery life, which actually isn't bad. And they include voice control and dual high definition directional sound system. They're in production and won't actually be shipping to later this year. I thought there was a mention of a price there, but maybe not. Maybe it's just the fact that they claim they are consumer ready.
Razer also had a VR headset at one point, if I recall. And then that went by the way. It was going to be an open source technology.
And this is what, Third Eye Razer again?
It's Razer was the name in it, and that is it the brand the same as the keyboards? I don't know, but
yeah, I think these are two different companies here.
Yeah,
I think
yep.
the big Razer company is the one that has got branded keyboards, mouse, and every contraption. And Razer also make gaming laptops.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're a brand of laptop. I think this really is just even the logo at the side of the glasses there doesn't ring any bells compared with. We'll see. Anyway, I mean, maybe even slightly spelled differently. I'm not sure. But yeah, good luck to them. Anyway, it's not the crowdfund or anything. Apparently, it's they're being made, and they are lightweight and all-day wearable form factor. I'll reserve judgment on that. Whether anything is all-day wearable that goes over your eyes, I don't know. Even my reading glasses have to come off every 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So anyway, as you say, that's organics.org. AUGANIX.org. We put that one away. And also, I guess tying in with this, Panasonic have a subsidiary called Shift Tool. Odd name, Shift All. Maybe that means they're anxious to get rid of their whole stock, as in Shift All. I don't know. It's like that. My humour gets lost on everybody, doesn't it? Okay. Shiftor, a Panasonic subsidiary, have unveiled lightweight micro OLED VR headset for consumers. Yes, this is a headset. It'll be a Steam VR compatible body tracking system, Harry Otora X. Gosh golly, where do they get these names from? And OLED micro displays the ability to play Steam VR content. Called Magnetics low profile high resolution headset is slated to launch sometime in spring at around $900. So not the cheapest consumer item. CS is where they unveiled it. Little bit of information there. And a design element which is called pancake optics, which Huawei and Pico have already used themselves in their headsets, and HTC is used to slim down the Valve headset. So I guess long live pancake optics, whatever they be. I've got to start doing a bit more research before I read these things out. So yeah, that's just a general announcement. I was just looking to see if, I guess that is the proposed picture of the thing. Bit bigger than glasses, but certainly more compact than a helmet. So I guess they call it a headset. Who am I to argue? It goes on your head. Let's put it that way. So yeah, more of these things, but where one would almost have been expecting a lot of these things to demoed or premiered at the CES conference last week, anyway. Right. This is a post from the VRARA.com, so THEVRARA.com. That's actually VRAR Association, if you're wondering what the VRAR. Forget it. Right, THEVRARA.com. And I thought this is quite interesting. It's more to do with 3D and LiDAR than anything else, but TerraSolid is I think they're a Finnish software provider called TerraSolid, and they have things like TerraScan, TerraModeler, TerraMatch, TerraPhoto, and TerraStereo, which are all highly developed, intelligent, and powerful applications. They're able to process and model laser points in X, Y, Z space at high speed, and can also display the result in 3D stereo. And in recent times, the capabilities of LiDAR hardware has developed rapidly together with the capabilities of the processing software, with TerraSolid applications at the forefront. This isn't, as far as I know, a press release, but actually the VRARA do tend to sort of regurge press releases a bit. But basically, this isn't so much virtual worlds or anything. It's geographic information and photogrammetry workflows and stuff. And let's just do a little bit of cheating here. I'm going to actually try and get to the web page for this. There we are. Okay, still no big pictures. So I'm just doing a quick look at what that. We've got a bit of time today, so we might as well have a look at the video. Okay, well, I'm not going to play you all 3 minutes. If you want to go to YouTube, you want Schneider Digital E.K. for that one. It's not actually a my embed thing either, so it's you probably need to go to the link at wherever we were a second ago, and then follow that through to YouTube. It's a nice piece of kit. I rather like, if you notice it, there's this sort of flip down, transparent thing at 45 degrees there. So he's looking with glasses on through a sheet at 45 degrees at the monitor, which is vertically underneath it. And as you can see, this is principally for designing power grids and smart cities, and not so smart cities for that matter, geospatial kind of stuff. But a nice some nice kit there. Not a consumer friendly price, however, I suspect. So let's just move that back, and oh yes, we are still there. So so this article is at thevra.com, and if you need to, you can click through to follow the blue links or whatever to the YouTube and other things. But there's quite a lot of reading there about what they're doing with this as well. Okay, so left to the centre of that really. Right, this week in XR. As you can tell, we're getting near the end of the week. This is actually posted January 6th, so I guess that was Friday or Thursday. This is Charlie Fink's roundup of Forbes.com, FORBES.com. Do follow it on my Twitter feed if you need to get to the exact page. It's a roundup. If anybody has actually given a fairly good idea of what was at what little there was at CES, shall we say, Charlie's probably the one to do it. It was more online than off, although, as I say, I didn't find as much online as I thought I might, and apparently 200,000 people has dwindled to tens of thousands in the physical world, which is actually still quite a lot, tens of thousands. I hope they're wearing masks, at least. Exuberant dinner parties are given way to room service hamburgers. And one CES told me he spent most of his time in a hotel suite doing Zoom calls. So yes, good old CES, eh? Anyway, it did happen in Los Angeles as well as online stuff. No traffic, no cab lines, walking tables at the best restaurants, and very, very few people. Oh, such is the success of conventions these days, eh? Right. CNET's 5 big takeaways. Oh, you'll have to read this too. I mean, the COVID is obviously an excuse for things not showing up, basically. Matterport did a Tokyo Geospatial. They announced an acquisition of a company called Enview. Mojo raised more money for their smart contact lenses. And let me see, what have we got here? Sony have confirmed PlayStation VR 2. That's, I had quite a few links to that, but I didn't put any here. And Third Eye raised their MR glasses again, and the Panasonic one again. XR advances, basically. As you can see, I'm scanning through pretty quickly here, but there isn't actually a huge amount of exciting stuff to report. And, CES is normally the time of the year. It is very soon into the new year, but, my memory of previous ones, even last year online, was that there was quite a lot coming out to report, but really there seems to be a bit of a dearth of it this year. Anyway, find Charlie's roundup here at Forbes.com, FORBES.com. And moving down, XR is, of course, extended reality. XR's design dilemma, balancing size and user interface. UX, sorry. This is at arinsider.co, ARINSIDER.co. And it's come a long way since arcades, eh? Yes, well, it has. Okay, they're talking about the evolution of headsets, how small they'll be able to go, alternatives to XR, experiences and what the future of the headsets will look like. Not the longest of articles. When I actually read the title, I thought, oh, this would be good for it's a design dilemma. In other words, we're actually talking about things of interest to designers, but in fact, it's just listing the various form factors. Some of the various form factors, and made the point that big size can probably give you a better experience, but it's of limited user attraction, shall we say. Anyway, who knows what the future holds. We will have contact lenses that are more powerful than 1,000 helmets. And we'll all have a window to the new telescope. That's great. What's it called again? The James something.
Yeah, James Webb. That'd be exciting.
That was a masterpiece of engineering, and it's all not a glitch. It had to execute about 300 different actions by itself out in the depths of space, and it did them all perfectly.
Yeah.
Including locking it late last night, which it had already completed itself, but it had to do a final maneuver to lock it to make sure it doesn't wobble when it's taking photographs. There's some boffin on TV saying, yeah, but we've still got to confirm that it's going to lock itself, because we don't want to be. Obviously, we can't take these photographs if it's wobbling. It's really funny listening to, but it's so true, of course. So there you go. Right, okay. Talking about bouncing size, that really wasn't too big for a rocket, eh? But they got it up there. Okay, now it's been a busy week for Voices of VR. I've only got one up here, right? But this is 1042. And it's from a series he's been doing all week from Doc Lab, and it's MIT's Open Dot Labs person talking about theory, practice, and history of immersive documentary. However, there are 13 Voices of VR this week. So I'm not going to put them all up for you. This is the most recent one, 1042. And the first one of the week was 1029, I believe. No, I haven't put it up. Okay. The first couple were stuff that he obviously had lined up to release anyway. So, but by far the bulk of them, bar one or two at the beginning of the week, are all to do with this Dot Lab. It's a series he did. They've called it a mini series. They'd have a Dot Lab immersive network R&D program. The thing that may help you tackle some of this is that, unlike most of his podcasts, which can last for hours, these are all relatively short podcasts. In other words, it is a sort of a mini series of Doc Lab interviews and podcasts or whatever. But if you go to my Twitter feed, you will find a link to each and every one of them as they came up. In fact, if you look at the Twitter feed, there isn't actually a gap between half of them because they're coming up at such rapid pace. There are no other tweets in the middle. But yeah. So yes, Kent Byers outdone himself in a different way this week. If he goes on like that, we'll be at 2,000 before we know it. Right, okay, voicesofvr.com, VOICESOFVR.com, and good old Kent By there. Right, AR Insider Code, XR Talks, Sizing Up the Spatial Future. We had another from this site, didn't we, a little bit earlier. ARINSIDER, and it's a chap called Mike Boland, a name very familiar there. Basically looking at spatial computing in the future, and of course spatial computing is just another word for look how many times he mentions the word metaverse. I think you get the idea. It's more polite to say spatial computing these days, isn't it? At least it avoids mentioning anything else that you don't want to. Anyway, a whole load of stuff to read there. What was the... Oh, sorry, actually, my mind is getting off track. Okay, one of the links that didn't pop up here properly, actually, is, I think it's to do with I've got a blog on, or rather, the Atlantic magazine has got a blog on me. So I haven't got the link for it up here, although it's on my Twitter feed. They published an article in the week that actually said something I've been saying quite a while, that Open Simulator is still very much a template for possible, future virtual worlds and things. And they did actually have quotes from Milan, from Kitely, and Joyce Betancourt from Avacon, to use the company name, and various other people. And it's obviously the author obviously did his research, but also it was obviously in the aftermath of the conference at the end of last year. But it's a good article, and judging by my tweets and the number of retweets that got, as well as seeing it tweeted elsewhere, seems to have attracted enough interest anyway. So you'll be able to find that on my Twitter feed, by the way. But for some reason, when I tried to load it earlier today, it wouldn't load me. It wouldn't get me through a paywall to get the article. It's basically what happened, and I'm not going to show you a screen with saying, "Cough up your money." So I think it was the Atlantic.com, and as I say, if I think they probably allow you one or two reads, and then you're in a paywall. Although I would say, actually, might be a help to some of you who do a lot of clicking on links, who don't like paywalls. A lot of sites, I think it's some kickback arrangements, but sometimes if you go to a site and find it's behind a paywall and the article you want, if you can find somebody's tweeted the same article, sometimes the fact that the referral is coming from Twitter allows, obviously with the cooperation of the publisher, allows you to get through the paywall to read that article. Don't know what the kickback is for Twitter or for the company, but apparently following a Twitter link as opposed to the direct link sometimes gets you through the paywall, which is interesting. Little anecdote, if any of you are interested, which so few of you may well be. Right. Anyway, this is arinsider.co, looking at the future of spatial computing, basically. And, right. Almost there. A good old site we haven't seen for a while here is Road to VR. Ben Lang usually talking there as he is in this thing. He's talking about Nreal, which is hardly new. They're a China-based startup, and they're behind the Nreal Light AR glasses, which are sort of sunglasses-like design. It hooks up to an Android phone and can project virtual objects in your real environment, etc., etc. So this is a hands-on with one of the first available. It's not Kickstarter or anything. These are actually available, and I think the first ones are available in America, which is I think it's probably the American one that he's talking about. Anyway, it's yet another YouTube. For you to watch. I'm not sure whether I've put that in my video section or not, but if not, you can find this sort of review from Ben Lang at roadtovr.com, roadtovr.com. And right, okay. Oh, this one got quite a few retweets. Bit off center, this one actually, but very interesting. This is by article by an anthropologist called Lisa Messeri, talking about virtual metaverse and our digital worlds, and she's not impressed by the God Emperor Zuckerberg, I'll put it that way. So she wrote an essay in Wired actually that particularly tried to place the tech titans' vision in a historical cultural context. Anyway, placing outer space and earthly ethnography of other worlds. That's the name of her first book. This is actually looking at planetary systems transforming the void of space into a cosmos populated with worlds that ignite imaginations. And her next book is now set to examine people, places, and fantasies shaping VR and those particular simulated worlds as well. So interesting kind of parallels there. First, she's writing about worlds in space, and then she's writing about worlds in virtuality. No, you know what's missing? Worlds in inner space. That doesn't get talked about so much these days. Anyway, okay. So she spoke, this is an interview at Yale News, where she spoke about her teaching, research, and skepticism of Zuckerberg's metaverse vision. The interview has been edited and condensed, but there's enough of it, believe me. Good little read here. And to get to it, you want to go to News Yale Edu. So that's NEWSYALE.edu. And yeah, good read to somebody who's obviously academically gone pretty damn deep into all that stuff. Right, so remove that item, and this is my last link. Now this actually is a bit of a weird one. It's the address it's showing up for me is Mirror XYZ, so that's MIRROR.XYZ. The actual site name seems to be called Mirror Megan Lost, which is her name, and that's her Ethereum account. So I don't know what the purpose of this site normally is. But if you ignore that bit at the top, right, this is actually the blog post that it was linking to. And anyway, I'm sure it must be mirror.xyz will get you there, I hope. Whether it's a mirror or not. Basically, she asks what is the metaverse, and looks at virtual. This isn't what I call an essential read, but it's one of those reads that, you know, if somebody's asking you questions, you might want to put them onto this as a kind of summary of stuff. Distinguishing, of course, between virtual reality, augmented reality, virtual worlds, which, of course, we all know and love. What's different this time around? Because, believe me, we've been here before. The only thing we didn't have before was a Zuckerberger overseeing everything. Anyway, quite a lot to dig into there. It's actually not, you know, if you were introducing the idea to somebody, this isn't the shortest of reads, but it does sort of do an overview of quite a few things. I forget how long you have. I forget how long I need to flip down this. Oh, that was funny. Enter the smooth verse. Yeah. So they're open versus closed metaverse. This is of relevance to us, particularly an open metaverse and the ideas for interoperability. So she covers that further down here. And examples: avatars, genies, or Ready Player One, Ready Player Me, of course. Transportation, Jadu, I don't really know much about them, and Sandbox for the actual worlds themselves, although equally that could be any open source platform really. Yeah, so I mean there's a good lot to read here that you know, it's certainly not sucking up to the big companies. It covers everything really wildly, and even attempts to explain the NFT business. Which I'd rather not. But anyway, and then it goes on there. Now she was giving a talk. Yeah, well, we missed that, of course. That was yesterday. She was in there. She was trialing for 5 hours. I missed it too. So 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time. She was in 7 different metaverse platforms for 5 hours. But actually, this would be worth clicking on. She was streaming. There we are. So I'm going to subscribe. There we are. And that's 1 hour 50 minutes.
All right, we're going to give this more video content a try in 2022. I had a great conversation with Andy Weissman at USB today, who encouraged me to actually really get started in this. It's something I've been.
Okay, that's that's an hour and a half. That I think has got in my other feed coming up. Okay, that's not actually an embed of the live stream she was talking about. That's obviously something else. Also, the page here is a bit wonky, isn't it? Zoom out. Oh yeah, there's the one we're looking for. Obviously, 5 hours live in the metaverse and 5 hours 7 minutes.
I'm gonna go check on YouTube to see if it's actually live, because I've never done this before.
Well, good start. Good camera. Let's.
God. OMG. Global best.
I'm trying to scroll through this. I certainly didn't listen to it all. I listened to a bit. As she said, she's in 7 different platforms. Whether any of those platforms are ones that I recognise. Something about the interfaces that makes you think, oh, no, it's not. Kind of thing. There's one with a big wheel in. I think she's chosen some of the more recent ones, to be honest, but...
I'm new to Roblox.
That's Roblox. Well, you get the idea anyway.
Thanks so much for watching my world.
You get... Oh, which one's that? Oh, that's Minecraft. Right, so you can see the one she's sort of chosen. Now, yeah, the whole thing is 5 hours and 7 minutes long. Needless to say, I'm in the wrong browser to send it to the feed. Okay. Anyway, good stuff. I should say. So it's a very odd-looking link there, just to mirror XYZ. But as you can see, there's quite a lot there when you get there. Very odd. You'd think it would be Megan Loist.com or something like that, but I don't know. I guess she promotes Ethereum and Bitcoins and things like that as well. So that's the Metaverse 101 according to Megan Loist. And that is it for the main links this week. Yay. God, making good time, I imagine. Yeah, not even on the hour. But don't forget, we've got a little bit more to go. Only 1 week to cover, of course, this week, this time, and this is my feed at Mastodon, mastodon.social/@Metaworld. But these are cross-posted into my Twitter stream anyway, so you'll pick them up there anyway. This was a post at the Motley Fool, who are apparently making the world smarter, happier, and richer. Cough, cough. And they're talking about how meaningful will time be spent in... Well, it just makes sense how meaningful will time be spent in virtual worlds, but that's what they're looking at. And
here's the statement. The virtual world will ultimately consume more of our time and be more meaningful to us than the physical world. And let me read it again because I know you and I have it right in front of us. Let me read it again for...
Well, it's starting off good.
He sort of that AR space probably will take on more of our... We'll be more in our... We'll be experiencing that more than we will just sort of outside of it. I think that...
Right. Well, you get the idea of what they're talking about. There's quite a good little chat. It's actually only 7 minutes long, so it's quite easy to click through and read. As with any on my posts here, you know, if you go to Twitter, it will post you to here, and you can either play it here or you can click through on the title to go to YouTube, which you will need to do if you want, you know, for example, if you fancy somebody and think you better subscribe to their channel yourself. Okay, moving down, the Metaverse and Storytelling panel. Now, this isn't actually 5 days ago. It was a bit earlier. It was about a month ago. But it's only just actually appeared. I forget. Yeah, it was New York City Media Lab, basically. And in the middle there, we've got Ivo Haining, of course, from Open Metaverse Project, and various other people. And let's see, it's some interesting music. Okay, that's just under an hour long. So obviously, I had to click on these to get to show me the time. So again, that's interesting. Anything with Ivo in it is interesting, but a couple of other people there equally interesting, of course. Right, January the 2nd. Oh, this is a shorter list than I thought this week. I don't think there's been anything from Upload VR this week, has there, James? Or wouldn't have you noticed?
Just there were some game reviews. They did their top 20 games from 2021, and then their 40 anticipated games for 2022.
Yeah, that's right. So I imagine this coming week, maybe tomorrow, Monday, they'll be back with their regular Upload VR cast. Okay, there was one other, well, two others by the look of it here. I don't know whether, January 2nd was last week, so it probably came after. F Reality podcast saying what 2022 has in store for VR and the best headset and games of the year. Self-explanatory, that one, I think, and not much to do with virtual reality, and they're looking at the games and the headsets and that sort of thing, and looking at the best of them anyway, which is always useful for just virtual worlds as well. And another conversation: what will 2022 bring for VR? I think this was this is the Upload VR people, isn't it? Conversation in real VR fishing. Oh yes, right, okay. Well, I'm getting confused here. This would have been earlier this week. It wasn't quite their normal Upload VR. As you can see, they began.
Oh, hello, hi, and welcome to a on-site at Yosemite episode of the VR Download. This is interesting. I'm Kyle, and I've got Ian here with me, and we gonna go fishing. How you doing, Ian? Are we fishing? You just crossed my line, dude. Yeah, well, that's the first.
Are we gonna go fishing? Okay, well, you got 2.5 hours to decide.
Decade.
Yep.
Yeah, I find they were planning to host a.
Okay, I think the conclusion you might come to is if you've got 2.5 hours to spare, you might want to play that as an audio podcast in the background, because you really don't want to watch them fishing in a square screen for 2.5 hours. But they are, as they ever are, very chatty and interesting people. They normally look a bit more like they're doing that one there. Right, January 2nd again. Okay, did we cover this last week? I think we did. Yeah, oh yes, yeah. Ken Bywood is on astrology. So that is it for this week. That is we is all done.
Everything?
That is everything. It's a shorter list than normal.
Oh man.
Yeah, so 1 hour and 3 minutes according to my. Oh God, I can't. Oh, this is disgusting. How can we fill 30 minutes more?
I don't know.
Well, of a day, to all those people out there who haven't listened to us for so long because you said, well, keep it under an hour or something. We just have done by mistake. Tough. Yes, I think the answer to that question is we've got to the end of it. I'm just scrolling through the latest tweets coming in here just to see if there's anything interesting. I don't normally do this because I decide in advance. 10:30. Oh, Kent By's series was on Dot Lab. It was a 12-parter series, right? So the 13th one was something else. But I'm just getting by a summary here. And well, there's Scar Ghost is saying that Sundance Festival will be fully virtual again this year too. And what else have we got here? VR engineers. Not sure who they are. Too many tweets are actually coming from the CEOs of, they're making it sound like an interesting article, but it's actually something they wrote themselves about their own company. It's what you call vested interest, really. Vibella is a classic case, actually. They're tweeting all the while about this, that, and the other, but when you look at it, it's a report on something that they did in Vibella. Stanford VR. Oh, God, it looks like they've had a very big Zoom call by the look of it there. Don't know, recognise the faces there. And oh God, this is unfortunate. The state of the health service in Britain here. There you are. A little cartoon has just popped up. Not fair, is it?
Nope.
Anyway, sorry, I shouldn't have shown you that. Okay, what else we got here? The Charlie Fink on those sunglasses again. Larry the Cat. If you don't follow Larry the Cat on Twitter, you should do. He's actually the number 10, as in number 10 Drowning Street, as I call it now.
Ah, right.
It's I've my feel of the official name. Number 10 Drowning Street is sinking fast. Right, okay, can't find anything else there either. So, yeah, I think we really can call this quits or whatever this week. So,
get my laundry done. How about that?
Well, I'm so glad I've afforded you time to do your laundry.
To do my laundry, right?
Better man than me, but no, better not discuss that one.
Right.
Yes, you've got an hour extra to do laundry, or however long it takes. Yes, very good. Yes, I'm wondering where we are here. If I put that away, because I don't need that. And, I'm back in, yeah, oh well, it's a picture, isn't it? There we are, a bit of a Mac desktop there to show you. Before we go. Okay, well, as I said, I remind you too that Hypergo Safari begins officially on Wednesday, noon Pacific time. That, of course, is 3 in the afternoon Eastern time, and in the good old UK here, it is 8 p.m. in the evening. And it's if you're in Central European time, which actually is where Thursday is, it's actually 9 p.m. in the evening. So she has a whole day to prepare for it. If you're in California, you get to lunchtime to think about it. So that's interesting thing of the week, really. Apart from that, actually, I can't think of anything else except to say that we will be back at the same time, same place next week. So any thoughts from you, James, on all the shenanigans that we've just been going through?
No, I agree with you. It seemed like so much less than from CES. And you just have to think it's the COVID and the the fact that so many players didn't show up to CES. That I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I was very aware from like obviously not last week when it was on, but the week before and even just before Christmas holidays. The press releases are coming out, so from companies that wouldn't be attending because of COVID. Right. And it obviously there wasn't time to make any other arrangements. So I guess the organisers, were having to deal with a lot of last-minute cancellations, a lot, presumably, of cancellations on the part of the audience going there.
Yeah.
And maybe even some companies that were aware sort of held back on some things because of it wasn't a gigantic event to. Whether the audience is a lot on these things. You don't. The reason there's so many announcements made there is because of its size and reputation. If they suddenly realise it's going to be diminished size, reputation or not, so they might think, oh, we'll pull back and announce it at some other event later in the year or something. Yeah. Especially with these things that are, and they announce them now, but they say they'll be available in the spring or summer. Second or third quarter. So if it's something that's not actually available for a couple of quarters yet, then they've actually got plenty of time to sort of just keep working on it. So when they do announce it, they'll be closer to the release date. So there's a whole load of factors there, I think. But Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it went beyond COVID a bit because I just felt reading the feeds and the blogs and all the standard feeds coming in as normal. There just wasn't any big thing
No.
there this year. Even things that maybe didn't make it, you'd think that some companies are still tweeting and saying things, and people say debuting at CES, so even though they didn't get there. But no, I don't know. But yeah, I think you're right. Maybe it's just a mood, like people are not feeling like splashing out on things and stuff. Doing the shopping. It's after Christmas. The inflation's growing. Money's getting tighter. And over and beyond COVID. Energy bills are going up by things like 50%. Well, this is in the UK,
Right.
but there's a general feeling people don't want to spend money at the moment. They're going to need everything they've got to just survive.
Just to get by.
Yeah, and especially at this time of year in winter in the northern hemisphere, at least, is not the most conducive to sort of going out on a spree or going places. So
Right.
I don't know. It may just be. It may be that any event would have had similar problems at this time of year and the mood people are in. So I don't know, but as I say, there was nothing spectacular launched there. It's not like there was a Quest 3 at 1/3 of the price with 10 times the specs or something that would get people talking.
Yeah.
There
were a good number of people excited about the PSVR announcement. So at
yes,
least finally, PlayStation saying something positive or confirming the fact. So there's been a lot of speculation.
Yeah, I always kind of liked. I mean, back 10 years ago, we were talking about the future of stuff like this, and I remember always saying then that I thought Sony were likely to take a lead above anybody else because they had that ready-made PlayStation market.
Right.
And of course, we forget now, but about 10 years ago, Sony launched Home on PlayStation, which was actually a VR environment you logged into, you invited your friends to.
Yeah.
Everything a Second Life was, and then you teleported out of Home into a game or something you wanted to play. It wasn't quite, it was, more of an interface for games. Rather than an interface to an expansive virtual world, but the operational metaphor was very much the same. And actually, an open source version for PlayStation of Home is actually coming back. It's been left to the open source community to reinvent it, which will be interesting to see if there's any interop goes into that. But yeah. PlayStation, it's sort of it's the first sort of, I'm thinking more of adults here rather than kid gamers. There was a time, about 20 years ago, even 25 years ago, when every rock and roll tour bus
had
PlayStations in it. These were adult people on the road, but PlayStation was the thing you played on those boring journeys and stuff like that. And plenty of adults were playing things on PlayStation. And I know one chap who never actually went out of a football championship that he was playing. So it was a game, if you see what I mean, but it also had a tangible connection to real world interest. It brought me to tears, but that was him, So yeah, I always rated Sony as think they were going to be a much big player than they ever turned out to be, but they are certainly still around. So I don't think we'll ever see the end of them, so to speak. And why should we? I'd rather they bought Zuckerberg than the other way around. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it, I guess. Unless you've got any other thoughts on.
No.
What we had.
Other than I've enjoyed my times VR fishing, so that's been very relaxing.
Is that the same fishing that the guys were on just now on the video?
Yep.
Oh,
yes,
right. So actually, it is bearable for 2.5 hours if you need to. Well, if you're in it yourself, I suppose.
In conversation, I've been in conversation with friends, and that's been enjoyable.
Yeah, right. That's the difference. Well, I suppose that's like with fishing, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
If you go on the river bank, throw your tackle into the water.
Most of the time, I fish. It's never been about catching fish, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's to sit there and have the conversation.
Yep.
I always think of that. I mean, I guess it's the same here too, though we haven't got such expanses. But fishing in local canals and things used to be a sort of thing around the time I was a kid. But when I think of American culture in the movies and things, so many of the father-son breakout relationship sort of things all happen on the riverbank.
That's right.
It's sort of all go hiking together, or maybe even something like deer hunting, God forbid.
The bonding,
but you know,
right.
the bonding thing, you know, on fishing, whether you catch it or not, is you just make small talk. You know, well, I fed mine like this and throw it like that, and ooh, this one feels heavy. Good God, let's wind it in. Oh bloody hell, it's a garbage can. Etc. etc. Oh dear. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we'll call it quits for now. So, I just did the way we try to do it and never succeed. Right. It's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from him.
Because we too are. Well, we are, because it doesn't matter if it's XR or MR or VR. As long as it's not PR, we are.
Ooh, that was quick.
We are. Yeah, I did the last bit too quick. Okay, that's our PR. It's we are. Yeah, oh, forget it now. Okay, everybody, I hope you have a very good week. Do stay safe. Stay indoors, work indoors, wear masks if you go out, wear visors if you can too, and just stay healthy, stay safe, and if you feel a bit lonesome and abandoned in your tomb, you'll remember there's a whole virtual world out there that is an electronic doorway to wonders galore. So you won't get too bored. Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay. So we'll see you all again, same time, same place next week, and it's bye for now.